are once more back in Lima just for a 2-week stint where we left our volunteering and decided, okay, we'll stay at the grandparents' house in Los Olivos and work out what to do next. What's been different for us this time is that we've actually gone out more in Lima. We started to discover it by ourselves, and I want to share a bit of that with you. So we began on the first day with my uncle and my cousin picking us up and staying the night over where there's always space for the family in this home. And they took us in the morning to see the last day of the procession Santo de los Milagros, Senor de los Milagros, which was held in the centre of Lima, and crowds of people dressed in purple hurried around this big cathedral where you could see nuns in traditional clothing all kind of hanging out looking down at them, and people throwing confetti, and there was this corresponding to the tradition, a drone flying around and fireworks going off. Very odd situation, but quite fun. Waited for ages. They say the ceremony can take as long as 12 hours. And then we passed by the monastery of Santa Rosa de Lima, where there's a wishing well where people write their letters and send them down. After that, then, Daniel and I borrowed the Metropolitano card from my grandparents. If you go to Lima, that is the best way to travel. It's the fastest bus you can take that has one kind of long line network across the town. So we felt a bit trepidatious going out because I read in my guidebook that here in Los Olivos we were in the most dangerous part of town, but it's been okay so far. So we went to Barranco, which is on the far east of the town, whereas we are on the west. And we knew we'd found it when we saw ourselves surrounded by really hipster Peruvians and lots of gringos. And we went to the Museo Pedro de Osma. If you go, I really recommend the tour. It was fantastic. I'm not actually very interested in religious art, but what we were taught was how the indigenous people in South America who were taught to do that art by the Spanish invaders slowly managed to feed in their own symbolism and their own kind of ways of seeing the world. So for example, the Virgin Mary becomes more like the Pachamama, so it's symbolized like a mountain. And you see these angels that look just like Spanish invaders. Past that, then, this in between, Daniel got locked inside his room because this house of my grandparents, as I said before, it gets built and fixed as and when needed, so the lock on the room broke, and Daniel was stuck in the bedroom for a whole hour, and the only way he got out was through my granddad sending him up tools on a string from outside the window to the first floor. And Daniel had to be picking the lock, and he actually had to pull out the entire lock in order to free himself. So that punctuated our days. Then we've also started, now we've gotten good with that card, we went off to Central Lima, and we did the walking tour on the Lonely Planet guidebook. Basically, you start at San Martin, and then you go over to where the palace is, and walk along to the Plaza de Armas, passing by the Parque de la Muralla. So I'm sure you can find that online. Probably the best bit was passing by the markets, and we've just been going on a snacking adventure, which isn't the best for the health, but things that I'd recommend from Lima, there's our favourites of everything, have to be mazamorra with arroz con leche. So that's kind of it's a dark purple gooey corn flour mix with, of course, rice pudding. Picarones, which are little circular donuts that are served, like they're fried up. You can get them for really, really cheap, and they're served with maple syrup. And mani, which are peanuts that have been coated in they're coated in sesame seeds and a red kind of sugar that makes them very crunchy and really nice, and you can get them from any street side vendor. So, then yesterday we took one last trip to La Victoria, and we went to the art museum. So that's a bit more expensive. I'd say only go if you're really into it, but you can see a huge exhibition that ranges from pre-Columbian culture rites and Inca pots, Wari, and brilliant textiles actually, right the way to 20th century Peru and the creation of new kind of indigenous genres. That said though, dedicate a lot of time to it because it can be very, very tiring. So after that, the way we blew it off was we grabbed a street side burger, as we say, don't even bother sitting in Lima, and we headed off down to the Parque de las Reservas, which is apparently the second most visited tourist spot in Peru after Machu Picchu. And for just £1, you can go to a park full of all kinds of crazy fountain, every kind of fountain you think of. There's a fountain tunnel, there's a fountain maze that you have to run into, and there's a gigantic Greek Roman garden set out with a fountain that plays classical music and a fountain cinema. So for the price, it has to be, you have to come and see it to even believe what there is. And that's us for now. I'm going to keep it short. Off to Arequipa in a few days. We're going to go explore Miraflores. We'll share with you.